The laughter around the living room was effortless. That kind of light, comfortable noise only close friends can create. We were at my best friend Ryan's house, celebrating his promotion. My wife, Claire, looked radiant under the dim golden lights, her smile easy, her charm undeniable. For a while I felt lucky. Lucky to have her. Lucky to still be included in gatherings like these after months of quiet distance between us. Then she raised her glass. "To old friends," she said, her voice smooth, "and to the people who remind us that even when life gets dull, we still deserve to feel alive." The room chuckled, glasses clinked. But her next words carved through me like ice. "I mean," she laughed, eyes darting around, "I have a husband, but I still feel alone most nights." The laughter faltered, a few awkward smiles. Someone tried to change the subject. But I heard nothing else after that line. Every sound blurred except for the echo of her voice. I sat frozen, holding my drink, staring at the rim of the glass. I wanted to believe she was joking, that it was one of those careless remarks made under the influence of too much wine. But I saw it in her eyes, that faint, bitter honesty she'd been hiding for months. I didn't react. Not yet. Years of restraint taught me that silence sometimes cuts deeper than rage. When the night ended, I drove us home in complete quiet. She scrolled through her phone, pretending the world outside the car window didn't exist. Inside the house, she slipped off her heels, poured herself another glass of wine, and said softly, "You're angry, aren't you?" "No," I said, keeping my tone flat. "I'm just wondering when exactly you started feeling alone." She turned, eyes narrowing. "Don't twist it. It was a joke. You know how people exaggerate things to sound funny." "Funny," I repeated. "You called me your husband and said you feel alone. That's not funny, Claire. That's revealing." She sighed, muttered something under her breath, and went upstairs. I stood in the kitchen, the faint hum of the refrigerator filling the silence. That night, I didn't follow her to bed. The next few days, I replayed her words over and over. I tried to remember when she'd started drifting. Maybe after the job change, maybe when her new team nights began, maybe when she stopped reaching for my hand in the car. Every detail felt like a breadcrumb leading to something I didn't want to see. By Wednesday, I decided to stop guessing. That morning, when she left for work, I noticed her second phone charging by the nightstand. The one she claimed was for office tasks only. I'd never touched it. Not once. But that day I picked it up. There wasn't much, a few work emails, a fitness app, a photo folder. Then I saw the message thread. A single name, Aaron. No emojis. No heart symbols. Just conversations that cut deeper than any picture could. "Can't wait for tonight. You looked stunning last time. Wish you could have been at the party. I felt invisible without you." My heart pounded so hard I thought I might drop the phone. I sat down slowly, trying to breathe, trying to make sense of what I was reading. Every late meeting, every team dinner, every quiet night she turned her back to me suddenly aligned like pieces of a cruel puzzle. Still, I didn't confront her. Not immediately. Because when someone betrays you, the worst thing isn't the act itself. It's realizing how calmly they can lie to your face while pretending everything's fine. So I waited. And when Saturday came, Ryan's follow-up dinner party, I went, holding the calmest mask I could manage. Claire looked stunning that evening. She wore the same silver dress she'd worn to Ryan's last party. The one where her little joke cracked something inside me. Her laughter filled the car again, light and unbothered, like the past week hadn't existed. When we arrived, she immediately joined the circle of familiar faces. I could feel the tension under my skin, but I smiled, shook hands, laughed at the right moments. Everyone saw a calm, collected husband. Nobody saw the message screenshots saved in my phone. Halfway through dinner, Ryan tapped his glass and said, "Let's do a quick round. Say something nice about the person next to you." The group cheered. I could almost hear fate whisper, "Here's your stage." When it came to me, I stood, my eyes finding Claire. "I guess I'll start," I said. "This is my wife, Claire. Beautiful, ambitious, confident, and lately, she's been teaching me the meaning of honesty. Her smile stiffened. The room quieted. You see, I continued, voice steady. Last week at a party just like this, she said she feels alone, even though she has a husband. At first, I thought it was just a joke. But then I realized, maybe she was telling the truth. Her eyes widened. Ethan, don't. I raised a hand. No, it's fine. Everyone here deserves to know what loneliness looks like when you share a home but not a heart. I pulled my phone out. For a brief second, her face drained of color. I used to think loneliness came from silence, I said quietly. But it turns out it can also come from lies. The room was dead silent. Someone cleared their throat. Ryan shifted uncomfortably. I didn't show the messages. I didn't need to. Her reaction said enough. I set the phone on the table right beside her glass of wine and sat down. Nobody spoke for a while. The dinner ended earlier than planned. On the drive home, Claire didn't say a word. The air between us felt thick, heavy, unbreathable. When we got home, she finally broke the silence. You humiliated me, she said, voice trembling. I turned off the engine and looked at her. You humiliated us the moment you decided to share pieces of yourself with someone else. I just stopped protecting your lie. She looked away, blinking hard. It wasn't serious, Ethan. You've been distant. I just needed someone to listen. Funny, I said, because I've been listening for years. You just stopped speaking. She stepped out of the car and went inside without another word. I sat there for a long time, staring at the dashboard clock, listening to the faint echo of her laughter in my memory. The same laugh that once made me feel like the luckiest man alive. The following week, she packed a suitcase and moved to her sister's place for space. I didn't stop her. I didn't text. I didn't call. Instead, I started walking after work. Long walks through quiet streets, thinking about what it means to share your life with someone who's only halfway there. A month later, she called. Her voice was calm. I'm sorry, she said. I thought what we had was fading. I didn't realize I was the one dimming it. I listened. Then I said the truest thing I'd said in years. Maybe we both stopped trying, but I never stopped being your husband. You just stopped being my wife. Silence on the line. Then a soft goodbye. That night, I poured myself a drink, not to drown pain but to toast the quiet, the kind that doesn't ache anymore. Because sometimes, being alone isn't the punishment. It's the peace you earn after surviving someone else's carelessness. By the time morning came, I deleted the messages, cleared the photos, and packed away her things. Not out of anger, but because the version of me who tolerated her indifference no longer lived here. I stood by the window, watching sunlight spill across the empty side of the bed. For the first time in a long time, the silence didn't feel lonely. It felt honest.